Hi everybody, this is Samuel Cabriales. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I would like to ask you to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Today I want to talk about how to open a business. So I'm going to show you on screen some of the resources you can look at in order to figure out the first steps to open your business. So there are different types of entities that you can create. You can register yourself with your county or in several counties. You can register yourself with the Secretary of State, like an LLC. You can also do like a corporation. It also depends where you live, so you always want to consult with your attorney, your tax professional, just to make sure that you're doing things to the best possible. But this will give you an idea of a sample. You always want to look at the different government entities that you're subject to. So, for example, if you're in the city, you want to make sure you check in that city. If you're in the county, you need to check in the county. What are the requirements for the type of business that you have? So the next step is the state, right? So you got to check with your state. Well, what do I have to do? Do I have to register with, say, for example, the Department of Revenue, the Comptroller's Office, the Secretary of State? What is it that I need to do? And also at the federal level, you need to check with the IRS. So let's move on to look at what are the things that I have to consider to open my business, and we'll do a sample in Texas, but you always have to refer to your own state just to make sure you're doing the right thing. One of the things I recommend doing is searching in NOLO, just to make sure that things are done to the best ability. If not, you can always check with a professional. So let's jump onto the screen to look at this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to consider, say, your county, right? So if you're just forming as a sole proprietor, we'll do Hidalgo County. And in this case, you would register your company, say ABC, and then your address. If you're incorporated, like say you formed an LLC, you formed a corp, you would enter here the name of your LLC. So let's say this is called ABC LLC. The name of a business is like a DBA. So you can always put whatever your trade is going to be. So say number one salesman. Number one sales store, right? That's your DBA. Then the legal name of your company is ABC LLC, and you would put what state you're incorporated in, the country or the county or counties where you intend to operate. In Texas, we can put several counties on here. Let's just put Hidalgo for the example, and we can do the period here. It tells you not to exceed 10 years, so you can put 10 years on here. You can actually enter it as a date from, say, for example, from January 1st, 2022 to January 1st, 2031 or 2032, excuse me. So, and then you put the type of entity, so sole proprietor, limited liability company, or a corporation. You would only check one of the boxes that applies in your case. So the name of the owners, their address, and then the city, and then you'd have this taken to a notary, notarized, sign in front of them, and then take it to your county. In this case, the county courthouse would be the example. So then we've taken care of the county, right? So the city, what do I have to consider for the city? Do I have to consider the fact that I need to go and get a permit with the city hall, or do I need to go to the fire marshal? Do I need a special permit for, like, say, an alcoholic permit with the county and the city? So those are things you want to consider in finding out what is the next step for your business. So let's say we do the city of McAllen. And we can put permit. And you can see, in this case, they have an online permit portal. You can apply for the different permits that are applicable. If you're gonna do construction in your business or things like that, you always want to consider like a building permit and things of that matter. But generally, cities have like a business to operate. You know, in order to operate it, you need to have a license, and also you need to schedule your visit with the marshal, the fire marshal. So now let's think of the state, right? Do I need to form an LLC? Is that something that I can take advantage of? So you can do like send business. And you can form your company with them. There's several different companies that will come up for doing this online to create your own company. Note that there will be filing fees with the state to file, so they will charge you a fee to process it, which includes the state fees. Also, you can do LegalZoom. You can do Legal Shield. There it is. You can here do a business formation, start my LLC, and go through the process. You have to find a feasible name that's available in your state in order to create an LLC. You can use My Corporation. You can use swiftfilings.com, but we'll do through some of the ones that pop up. So you can do here, get started, and you select what type of business you want. They show you their fees. You can select it with an operating agreement with the articles of incorporation. They'll do the name check for you. And again, this varies depending on the state that you're at, because it'll be filed with the Secretary of State. So once you register a business with the state or with the county, then you got to also think of applicable tax bodies in the state that you're in. So in Texas, we have the Texas Comptroller, but sometimes they use the term Department of Revenue. And right here, we can go on there and we can apply for permits using their web file in this case. Get a sales tax permit if you're going to have a collection of sales tax on the sales you do to your customers. You got to consult with your professional to see if that's something that's relevant or not. And make sure you pay income taxes in the state that you're in if it applies, or that you pay sales tax if it applies. So those are things to always consider. You gotta take note that every business is different. You may need to have a sales tax permit, or you may not need to have one. You may be in a state where there's income tax, and you may not need to have that, or you may need it. It just depends what state you're in. Texas has no income tax, so you don't need it. So another thing to consider is if you're gonna have employees, then do you need to register as an employer? We're still thinking of Texas in this case. So you would go to the Texas Workforce Commission, to their main page. And here you can register as an employer. You can sign up to file your taxes, employers, and create an account. Log into your account, then create your account. Tell them the employees you're going to have. You'll need a lot of information about your business. At this point, it's wise to have an EIN number already. So then thinking of the state, right? If you have employees, you got to register with the Texas Workforce Commission or your unemployment, whoever handles that in your state. You also have to think of, okay, what reports do I need to file? Do I need to file quarterly reports? Do I need to do an annual report for the employees that I have and my contractors? Is it combined? Is it separate? Those are always things that should be in your mind in order to have the best decisions. So one quick way to check your requirements, you can go to NOLO And you can say, for example, put LLC requirements. And then say you can put Texas. All right, let's see what comes up here. So here it gives you, how do I form an LLC in Texas? How much will it cost? Why will I have to pay taxes on my Texas LLC? So you can also do NOLO, income tax, Texas. And here I'll tell you. So it'll start saying, there's an annual report for if you have an LLC. If you register as a sole proprietor with your county, you may not need to do any of this. There's a state business tax, which we call franchise tax for Texas. There's also state employer taxes. And it even gives you the pages where you need to visit, which I was talking about earlier. They give you hyperlinks on there. So that gives you a good idea. It'll tell you there's no income tax. There's employer taxes. For sales tax, a great website to visit is Avalara. And then it can give you a guide. You can put Texas. Also, you can go to taxyard.com. So we'll click on the guide for Texas, and you can get the rates on here. These guys will automatically follow your reports if you choose to hire them to do it. You can, like I said, you can also use TaxJar for Texas compliance. So you can put TaxJar, Texas, and see what we get here. Sales tax, Texas, TaxJar. So here it starts telling you, do I need to collect sales taxes in Texas? And then it'll tell you whether or not you should, right? And when you have nexus in Texas, let's say you're operating in Texas from another state, it gives you an idea. But again, you can do this for any state. And then you'll get the metrics of what they think is applicable. Say in Illinois, it'll tell you what's applicable in that state. Please note that every state is different, so you got to consider that. And then lastly, but very important, is the IRS at the federal level is something you have to be concerned of. For the federal level, you have to be aware if excise taxes apply to you, if payroll taxes apply to you, if income taxes apply to you. So those are things that you have to become aware in order to form your company, in order to get an EIN number, which is the next step that I'm about to show you, the page where you go to get a free EIN. You don't need to be paying anybody to do that. So let me go ahead and show you that, okay? So for the federal, we're going to go to irs.gov. And right on here, we can see it says right in the middle, apply for an employer ID. So you go on here, and you can apply online. You start, it'll tell you a little warning that you're in a federal government site, and you can begin an application. You're going to select what type of entity you are. If you register with a county as yourself, if you're a sole proprietor, if you did a joint venture with somebody else and registered at the county, you're a general partnership, so you choose partnerships. If you formed an LLC, you pick LLC. And then if you click on the actual thing, it'll tell you what is an LLC. It'll give a little explanation to make it more understanding to you of what is an LLC and if you're picking the right choice. So let's say we did an LLC. We get that little disclaimer. If you click on the description, it tells you what it is. Again, this will tell you owns a company. So a sole proprietor is an individual who owns a company that is not incorporated. So you didn't go with the Secretary of State. You didn't create an LLC. So say we do limited liability company. We press continue, and it'll tell you what is an LLC. I'll start talking about that again. Press continue, and you'll start saying how many members you have in the company. Say there's 2. And then Texas is our example. We'll press continue. And if the members are husband and wife, let's assume that yes. And then in Texas, since it's a community property state, you can choose to be treated as a single member, as a multi-member LLC if it's husband and wife. So let's say we do a multi-member. Then we press continue. And it'll tell you, due to the number of members, you are considered a multi-member liability company. And it'll tell you, you may be able to file these forms 8832 or 2553 to file as a corporation or as an S corporation. It's just information. You can press continue on here. And then you'll tell it the reason to get an EIN. Say just you started a business or you're trying to open a bank account. And here you start crunching your name, social, and who's filing this. And you press continue. When you're done with this process, you'll have an EIN. This process is probably one of the first processes that you want to take care of once you register the name, be it with your county clerk or with the state, because you'll need an EIN pretty much all along the process. Once again, I want to thank you for watching the video. I want to ask if you can go ahead and subscribe to our channel for additional free content, informative content. Remember to consult with your tax professional about any of the decisions that you make. Thank you and have a great day.